Hello, welcome back for another weekly vlog. My name is Kristen Lankford. For those of you that are new here, I am a pre-K teacher in Florida, and those of you that have been here for a while, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about our whole week in pre-K, and our theme is Scarecrows, and our letter of the week is T. So let's go show you what we are cooking for cooking day. Weekly cooking is all set up. This is the recipe book. Unfortunately, it does say chocolate icing, and the icing that we got sent in was vanilla, but that's okay. They'll be fine. We do have the ingredients of a graham cracker, the icing, and then M&Ms, and we'll have the kids color these for a traffic light. For letter T, we gave them 2 of the graham crackers. They can make 2 of them, because 1 is like not enough, obviously. Some red M&Ms, yellow M&Ms, and green M&M, and then a popsicle stick to be able to spread it. Easy peasy. These are the kind of cooking recipes I love because they are fast. So if you haven't heard about how I do this, when the kids come in on Wednesday, we come down to the rug, we talk about the ingredients, and I model for them how to build it. They go to their seat, they trace the ingredients, they color the ingredients, and then they make it. Once they're done making it, they come to the second page, they draw a picture with me. We kind of model on the whiteboard too, how to do a rectangle and then add the icing and then the little circles, and then they rate it. If they liked it, they kind of liked it, or they did not like it. And then that is it. It's just a little bonus snack time to go with our letter of the week. In addition to a letter T, we have Scarecrow week. So I'm gonna show you a couple things. First, if you look in the back, these are so cute. This is our art center, so I'm gonna show you that first. All right, we started a new thing. Look at this table, by the way. It's like markers galore. I really need to clean it. Anyways, if you've been following along, you see that we have started a new activity for the art table. It is optional. It is a play center. They do not have to come to it. They don't have to make it. That's why only 4 kids have made it so far. But it's a scarecrow, and we just provide them with all the materials. We gave them a circle. We drew a line so that they knew that the hat goes on top, and then the bottom part is orange tissue paper, and then they have yellow strips to add for hair, a brown nose, and some drawings of eyeballs. It has an example for them. However, they are able to do it how creative that they want, and then at the end they do get to add the mouth. So let me show you what some of these look like. Not bad, right? This one was with teacher help. Look at this one. It's so cute. It's so kid made, and it's perfect. That's why we put it in there, for creativity, not to do exactly what you're supposed to do, you know? Art is creative. And then this one is pretty good all on her own. I also like the dark orange that she used on the bottom, and then the light orange on the rest of it. All right, and then Scarecrow theme continued. We have our Play-Doh invitation of being creative. We don't have hats. I wish we had hats, but you know, improvise. We made these out of pipe cleaners, and so far they've held together pretty well. If any of them break, the kids just come up to me. We have buttons for them. They can use it however they want, buttons on the shirt, or some kids actually put buttons all on the face. We gave them some googly eyes that they could push in to make a scarecrow. Obviously the rollers, some fall type colors. We actually took those strips that are at the art table, and we laminated paper and did strips as well for hair. And then sticks, like if they wanted to pretend that their scarecrow was on a stick, or some kids have used it differently as well. I love doing this. It kind of gives Play-Doh a little more spunk, not just the same old, same old. Also, we are in the middle of getting ready for our Halloween costumes. My para every year makes the costumes, so they're very DIY. This year we are doing dinosaurs. So we bought some powder tie-dye kit that has all these different colors in it, and we are coloring white t-shirts to match what dinosaur they're gonna be. And then these are like the triangle spikes, so we're putting glitter. I think she's gonna do both sides, but this is the first side. Putting glitter, because that's what we do, glitter all the time. To go along with the costumes, we are painting shoe boxes. We're still debating if we're going to put the eyes like this in the back, and then put like a nose on the front, and the spikes on top. Or if we're gonna have like this one, the spikes and then put the eyes more, let me show you, like this way. I feel like this way looks better, but we're going for it. We don't know. And then we still need to figure out how we're gonna attach this to stay on their head, because their heads are a lot smaller, how it's gonna like stay when they're walking. Then we're gonna put some spikes on the shirts as well, going down the shirts, and then probably some type of tail. I don't know. Miss Sam is the creative genius behind this, but we did find some ideas on Pinterest and she's kind of putting it all together. Also, our sensory bin has changed. We were doing small individual sensory bins, but we have changed it into a big sensory bin. And depending on the theme, we are going to either change it every week or every other week. Like right now, this is some of the stuff that was from fall, but as well as Scarecrow related, you know, like they use these things. So it's kind of just like October, September time. But we did add some scoops in here. The kids are loving scooping these popcorn kernels. I will just give a heads up that as with any sensory bin, you just have to keep an eye on the kids, make sure nobody in your class is putting them in their mouth. We put the leaves in here. I added these laminated cards so that they can search for them and find a match. So like this one is a scarecrow, a sunflower, and they have to dig and find the match. Oh, here we go, I found a match. And then they can put it off to the side or however they want to do it. Mostly, even me, we love just the feel. That's what it's for. So sensory bin. Next up is going to be a Halloween sensory bin with colored rice. So I will give you more details on that soon. And back to this corner, our weekly poem. This one is so cute. It's like, I'm a little teapot, and today is Wednesday and my kids, for the most part, already have it memorized. This week we did start introducing the fact that there's like rhyming words and just getting them exposed to that. So I say worn, torn, and then if it rhymes, we say that rhymes, and then hat, here. If it doesn't, we say no way, no way. So it's just the exposure for now. We're not quite, we haven't done any actual like learning. We're just trying to like listen for it so far. Okay, so then I feel like that's all like the fun stuff. I wanted to start with the fun stuff this week because I feel like I always save that for the end of the video. And I don't know if you guys are busy and you're like looking for that. I hope you watch the whole video, but I get it. Life is busy, right? I also, this morning, we have the calm down corner. And I know I spoke on my Q&A video. I'll link that up here. A little bit about behaviors. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more tips later on, a whole behavior management video. But our calm down corner is my #1 recommendation. And there are some beautiful calm down corners on Pinterest, and ours is not as beautiful as those, but I still feel like it is helpful to just have an area in your room, even if it isn't all beautiful and has all the things everywhere, all that. As long as they have an area where they know that they can go, they can calm down, and then they can re-enter the classroom, that's good. So anyways, I have a student who has been using the calm down area quite a bit, and when they go to the calm down area, they are feeling very, very angry. Not upset, but angry. As far as when you have those anger emotions, you're throwing things, you're screaming, you're ripping, like all of that kind of stuff. And so we kind of have had to take some things out of the calm down corner because he's just like throwing the chair or throwing the little seat, wobble seats and all that. So then I just decided that I was going to move our fidget bin, which we normally have up on the counter, and we provide fidgets for the kids when they need it. I decided I was gonna move a lot of those fidgets into the calm down area, that maybe, we'll see how it goes. He hasn't been angry today, so we're having a great day. But maybe when they go to the calm down area, instead of feeling angry and like throwing the things, they might have a little distraction and be like, oh, look at all these things. Let me pick one out and play with it. Because we've tried to give the fidget to them during the calm down time to help them like get rid of that anger in a different way. But when they're angry and you're handing them something, they're like, no, absolutely not. And then they would throw that too, you know? So kind of just like having it in that area, and then it'll be their choice if they'd like to use one of them. We'll see. I'll keep you posted if it backfires, but I'm gonna show you what I did. Okay, I have to be careful because our wishing well is right above this, and that's where my students' pictures are. But we moved the chair to kind of be against this because before it was facing out, and I think that's kind of, the kids don't, they kind of feel exposed sometimes too. So maybe if they're like not really looking at anybody, they're kind of just looking across, or they could even turn the chair around if they wanted to look at the wall. But you can see down there's been a couple rips on the bulletin board. No big deal. So I put the chair here. We also have this. It is a weighted lap. So like when they are feeling calm, it has like weight to it and they can put it on their lap, like a lap pillow. What I added is this. And so it's all of like the certain fidgets in here that they can choose from. We also have mirrors so that they can look at their face and how they're feeling when they calm down. Oh, how are you feeling? Happy now? And then we have the zones of regulation that our school gave us in the beginning of the year. Also has been ripped a couple times. So I don't know about that one. This one I think I've showed you before. Steps of calming down. Put your hands on your tummy and say stop. Name your feeling. Take belly breaths. This is more age appropriate for some of them, but some of my students who are developmentally delayed are not quite ready for this and how to calm down. So they do turn more to the fidgets or just something that switches it, you know, switches it over. But nonetheless, I also have these in here. These are very popular when we're trying to calm down because it helps them to slow their thoughts and focus on those bubbles. This is made from the teacher next door and I still have it, but I have so many of these bottles. I'm gonna make more of those because I think they're popular. Okay, so then we just put all the different fidgets in here, and then this is, I think I've showed you guys this one before, but the little stuffed animal that can be happy or sad. And then these are puppets. I'd like to put a couple extra stuffed animals in here, but these are the ones that we have for now. So just here in the area so that when the kid is calming down, they can have a choice, hopefully, and not start, you know, throwing it and kicking it, because this would be quite the mess if they start throwing it. I also have these wobble seats. It's not really for the calm down area, it's more for the library, but a student could choose to use them. We've stacked them before too. I mean, any of the, I just don't really have enough room for having a library separate from my calm down area because our room is just not very big. Okay, so overall, wish me luck. I mean, that's what you do as teachers. You improvise, you rethink things, and each year things are gonna change. That might be great this year. Next year, might have to hide the things, you know? Like sometimes kids who you have to tell no to all the time, like, no, don't touch that, no, don't touch that, it has a lot to do with the fact that everything is out and they're not at that level of being able to understand what they can and cannot touch. So sometimes things have to be put away and not have everything available to them. And obviously you wanna teach them that skill, but it depends on where they are on their learning. Nonetheless, we're gonna cook, we're gonna make traffic lights, and then I will see you maybe today after school or tomorrow. Hello, it is Thursday. I actually just got done recording a conference night video with top 3 tips for conferences, as well as sharing how I stay organized and what papers I use for my conferences. So I will post that video soon, and I will try to link it below if I post that one before this one. I don't really know. Nonetheless, I recorded it because it's conference night and I have a little extra time. Yay! So now I'm gonna backtrack and share our learning centers before my conference starts. Okay, so for reading centers and my center, I decided to work on some vocabulary and some positional words and following directions all in one. I got these papers from Tech and Talk SLPs, which is a speech and language type activity, which is perfect because my kids need that. And it is Scarecrow related, so it has scarecrows in a scenery. And then we used little pumpkin erasers, and then it gives directions for you as the teacher to say. So like, find the scarecrow between some pumpkins. And then they took their little pumpkin eraser and put it on the scarecrow that was in between the pumpkins. So that worked really well for my group. One of my groups, it was a little difficult, and so we kind of took it back a step and said, find the pumpkin, find a crow, because we're working on their IEP thematic vocabulary and using that, and so we're obviously trying to learn that vocabulary if they're gonna use it. Okay, then reading in Miss Sam's group, she did her letter book. This week is letter T, so she made a letter T book with the kids. I love that one of the centers stays the same, the kids know what to expect, and it's one less thing for me to have to plan. Then we also did computers again. We're still on Starfall. They are getting better at knowing that they have to pick the letter of the week first to play, and then they can play the other games. But the fact that they're learning how to use Starfall, less kids are saying, it messed up, come help me. They're getting used to using the computer, so that is a good start, and then we can hopefully transition to ABC Mouse soon. In the independent activity, like I've said a million times, it's basically we want them to learn a little bit, but we also want them to have something to keep their attention and have fun. So this is kind of a math activity, kind of, I'm not sure, but they had to roll dice. I wish I knew which one this one, oh, I do know. Huh. It is from My Fabulous Class, and it is so cute. It has, hopefully you guys can see that, it's probably a little blurry, but you roll the, there we go, you roll the dice, and then it gives you a body part of the Scarecrow. So I printed that out, and then I gave them a blank one, and they each got dice with numbers on it. So that example gave dots, so that kind of bumped it up a little bit. They have to recognize the number 3 and then find the 3 dots, and then it showed that when they rolled 3 dots, it was the hat. And then they take their little paper and they dig. I put them in a bucket for the class, the group, not the whole class at one time. There's like 4 kids in a group. And then they got to put the hat on, and they roll their dice again. If they get a 3 again, they already have a hat. We talked about Scarecrows only have 1 hat. How many arms do they have? How many legs do they have? We're only gonna have 1 head. And so they just built the Scarecrow, and then if they built their Scarecrow, they could tell their friend, give them a high five, and then they took all the pieces off and built it again, just to keep their attention. And they really liked it. It was so cute. Okay, so that was literacy. And then to keep with 3D shapes and math, we kind of went more 3D shape versus Scarecrow. So in Miss Sam's group, we got this game. It is created by Sarah Jonkheere, Jonkheere. I don't know, just look it up on Pinterest. But it's a spin and cover. So we use this paper clip with one of these brads. Sometimes this works well for me, and sometimes it doesn't work great. So I don't know what the trick is, but nonetheless, they spin. Whatever they land on, it was a cone. Miss Sam said, what is that? It's a cone. And then they had to find a real life example of a cone, like a party hat, and then put the little piece on top. Very fun. Another spin activity. This was an independent one, and I'll be honest, it was kind of a lot, because independent and shapes, I feel like, blows up in your face, but whatever. So they had to spin it. Also, the spinners on this one was not working as well as the other one, which causes all the drama. So they spin it, and they get like a cylinder, and then I have these little blocks, and they had to find a cylinder, put it in the middle of the table, and then somebody else had a turn. They would spin. Let's say they landed on a rectangular prism. Then they had to decide, can they stack it? They can. Obviously, if the kid puts the cylinder down like this, they would not be able to stack anything on top, so they're learning to stack those flat sides. And then it's the next friend's turn to see how high they can stack it before it falls over, which is why it got crazy, because when it falls over, it makes a loud noise, and the kids laugh, and they're having fun, but we're also trying to do small groups, so. Nonetheless, we survived. That's what matters. Okay, so then in my group, we did another cut and paste, which I keep saying, I'm crazy, why am I doing this? It takes too long, but they're already starting to get better at focusing and following those directions and using the scissors, so practice makes perfect. That's the good part. We did a second game. Last week we did a game by My Little Teaching World. This time we were sorting 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes, and they had a picture of it, and it was kind of hard because it's hard for the kids to see a drawing of a 3D shape compared to a real life 3D shape. So we talked about those dotted lines and what that means, and we talked about the fact that, you know, you guys have really learned triangle, circle, forever. Those are the 2D shapes. So it was kind of like sorting with me with pictures, which was a lot harder. But then in their independent group, have these like, I don't know what these are called, but they can be built into circles. And then we just put it on the rug, and we put a little index card with an example 2D shape, and then I put a 2D shape inside to get them started. And then in the other circle, there was like a yellow one, and I wrote 3D shape, and I put a 3D shape in the circle to get them started. And then they just had, I already split them up because I'm cleaning up, but they were mixed all together. And then they had to work as a group to sort the shapes by 2D and 3D shape. All right, so that is what we did this week for our small groups, and then I will show you what we did for reading. Okay, so you know on Mondays we do our Scholastic Letter of the Week book, so this week was no different. It was about Turtle's tea party, and so they went on a little tea party with Turtle and Toad. Tiger, I think, was there, so just different animals. But in addition to that, we also read some Scarecrow books. This one is so cute. It's called The Little Scarecrow Boy, and it's about a scarecrow family where the scarecrow dad, you know, he has a fierce face, and he wakes up in the morning and he goes out to the cornfields, and the little boy wants to go, he wants to go. But the dad says you have to keep practicing your fierce faces, which is a great vocabulary word. And nonetheless, you know, he really wants to do it, but he can't do it. And then he gets brave and he goes out there and he tries all 6 of his faces, which are silly faces. The kids think they are so funny. Like, look at this one. And, you know, he runs away from the crows because he's scared of them, but he doesn't give up and he keeps using his scary faces. And then he does a good job, and so he gets to grow up and be a scarecrow in the field and scare all the crows away. Yesterday, I got a book from our library and I already returned it, but don't worry, I looked it up on Amazon for you guys, and it has the best illustrations. I'm sure you've heard of it before, but if not, it is called The Scarecrow. Very simple, and like I said, the best illustrations. And then today, I tried to order on Amazon, but it didn't work. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I really need to find a copy of it. But we read the story Scaredy Crow, and it's basically about a scarecrow who is scared of all the animals that he's supposed to be scaring away. So he's like, ah, and he screams because he's scared of them, and then it scares them away too, so it kind of works out. But we had to read that one on YouTube because I didn't have a copy of it. And honestly, I don't know about you guys, but my class doesn't really like to listen to books on YouTube. They'd rather me read it, which I love because you know they're on technology all the time, but they don't really get that into it. And it's probably because we use the projector and it's like really big, and my classroom doesn't get very dark because we have windows that don't get closed all the way, so the lighting is just not great. A week of Scarecrows, and tomorrow is show and share, so we are going to do our letter T show and share, and our poem of I'm a Little Scarecrow. We're just gonna cut out some little scarecrows, hopefully some crows to go with them, glue them into the notebook, and then be done with our week. I do want to show you our dinosaurs. They're coming along. I showed you a brief sneak peek earlier in the video, but now it is Thursday and they are getting cuter and cuter. Let's go. Hello, sorry about that. I wanted to show you a couple other things with our costume last night at conference night, but then I looked at my watch and realized I had a conference that I needed to get to, and then it was back to back to back to back all the way until the end of the night, so I didn't have time to wrap it up, but that's okay, because now it's Friday, and I can actually show you our poetry notebook since we finished it, and I can show you the costumes, and then we can wrap this up, so let's go. All right, so here are the costumes that we're making so far. The girls have glitter, the boys do not. All right, and then like I said, this week we did, look at this disaster. I'll have to glue that back in, but we did the Scarecrow poem, put a little scarecrow in here, and then let them draw crows. Also the letter M, it was perfect. You know, I am notorious for switching things up in the classroom, and we've noticed that a lot of kids kept leaving the kitchen to go over to the train table, back and forth, so we made a barricade, and I am in the middle of organizing some stuff, so it looks like a disaster. All right, anyways, I'm not finishing this video at home. Good job, it is Friday. I have a weekend filled of soccer, so I hope you guys had a great weekend, because you're probably watching this after the fact, but if you like this video, don't forget to give it that big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, the notification bell, and I will see you next week for spiders. Bye.